and welcome to the final video for the 18 card challenge Legacy, which was due ages ago, and it didn't happen. So instead of explaining that over and over and apologizing up and down, I will just say I'm very sorry for the delay. It's been a hard one to get out there. In fact, we're going to be changing the format of these altogether. Uh, Likely not to be too video based, but I wanted to finish this one with a video since that's how we started it. So what I'll quickly do is explain that we had, oh my God, we had a ton of entries on this one in the 70s, I believe. Narrowed it down to a solid group that we saw last time, and then from there I narrowed it down to what I'd consider the top three games that nailed both the small card count, which is the 18 card challenge part, and the legacy side of it. So I didn't know what to expect with this. If we'd get games that were use traditional legacy elements, or games that kind of did their own thing because of the card count, and we did get a little of each. But these three kind of took a traditional path of marking up cards and using stickers, and two out of the three did the kind of the campaign style, which is very popular. And I went back and forth a ton on these, so we're going to announce all three of them, and then I'll say which one won. So the first is, sorry, I want to pull up the titles so I don't mess this up. Ancient Wonders, and we'll show a little bit of it right now.
Welcome to Ancient Wonders, which is an 18-card legacy solo game set in the age of the ancient world. In this game, you are playing a leader trying to build your civilization from the ground up, and you're going to be doing that over the course of 10 games or 10 chapters in the campaign. The game is made up of 3 different types of cards. There are your storage cards, which track your inventory of resources. And you'll notice that the higher limits are currently locked off. You can unlock those over the course of the campaign. There are also wonder cards. And wonder cards cost resources in order for you to build them into your civilization. So that's where the resources come into play. They also contain special powerful citizens like this architect that allows you to permanently X out resource on a built wonder, which is moving forward going to allow you to build wonders cheaper. This is the master builder that gives you a different ability. The third type of card are the district cards, and this is really the heart of the game. How gameplay works is you're simply going to take one of these 4 cards in the queue, play it to begin forming your civilization, which is a row of cards. Then you're going to just take the card and replace it. You're going to keep doing that until both decks run out or you can't play any more cards. There's a mechanic that I just call an overlapping mechanic that really is what kind of gives the game its meat, if you will. So when you add a new card, you can always add it beside an existing card to extend your civilization, or you can overlap 1, 2, or all 3 sections, and you can do that anywhere in your civilization. And that's where the tough decision-making comes into play. When you overlap a card or a section, that section ceases to be part of your civilization. But what you gain from that is either gold, a resource, or the ability of the citizen. Now, resources and citizens cost you a gold to activate them, whereas gold, you actually gain a gold when you cover it, but you are also sacrificing because you're eliminating this scoring condition that's associated with it. So the game is really a spatial reasoning game that also uses resource management, in which you are trying to factor in, is it better to expand my civilization, cover up vital parts that I need to evolve my civilization. The legacy component adds new wonders, new rules, new events, powerful new citizens that you're going to sticker on, upgraded resources, upgraded scoring goals. That hopefully gives you a better sense and you want to learn a little bit more. That's Ancient Wonders. Thanks very much.
The second one is Legacy Tales Barataria. And we'll show a little bit of that right now.
In the early 19th century, a bustling outpost of seafaring scoundrels thrived off the coast of Louisiana. Barataria, the last great pirate stronghold. As a Baratarian, you will command a growing operation of smugglers turned pirates. Build your empire from the ground up, navigate a tricky political landscape, and secure your legacy as a legend among pirates. Legacy Tales Barataria is a narrative-driven, cooperative legacy game for 1 to 2 players. During the campaign, you will play through 9 different scenarios, unlocking new playable characters, upgrading them with special abilities, and expanding your stronghold. With limited time, you will need to complete objectives such as capturing a merchant ship or securing a new hideout. Objectives are split into milestones, and as you complete these, you'll gain upgrades, which will allow you to pull off more powerful actions and combos. Bonus goals allow you to take on additional risks for fun rewards and visual upgrades. On the way to completing objectives, you will explore fascinating locations, acquire and trade contraband, smuggle items to each other, perform risky feats of skill, and send your crew on voyages to bring back treasure. Pirates have their enemies though, and you will need to avoid these dangerous threats or overcome them to be successful. Turns are fairly straightforward, but give you lots of flexibility. You must take one primary action, such as performing an event on the active scene, completing an objective milestone, or facing the threat. You may also perform any number of special abilities before or after your primary action, as long as you can afford their cost. To win, you'll need to manage your resources efficiently, use abilities at the right times, and coordinate closely with your teammate. After completing the campaign, you will have a uniquely customized game to continue enjoying and playing via one of hundreds of randomized scenarios. Legacy Tales was designed to feel like a big game with a very small footprint. Legacy Tales Barataria, a legendary experience in 18 cards.
And the third is Witch. And we'll show a little bit about that.
Hey guys, I'm Reese and I wanted to tell you about my new game. What the hell is that? What the hell?
A competitive card game for 1 to 4 players where you play as witches suspected of a crime. You have to use your magic to try and shift suspicion away from yourself and onto one of the other 16 witches from one of 4 covens: Sacred Flame, Brambleroot, Silver Branch, and Nightshade. Witch is played over a series of rounds and each revolves around a single crime that you have all been suspected of. Here, having no children. Players will each start with one witch, and on their turn, they'll draw another, and then choose which of those to play. Each witch then has 2 spells. The player will choose which of those spells to cast. Each spell has different effects that will affect yourself, other players, the crime, or other cards, and playing them is essential to remaining as innocent as possible. At the end of a round, players reveal the last card in their hand, and the witch whose number is closest to the crime is charged. If the jury card points to you, your number will shift closer to the crime. If the crime is the same color as your witch, your number will shift closer to the crime. The guilty witch is kept as a tracker and a new round begins. If a player has 2 guilty witches, the game ends. Legacy elements like keeping track of prior convictions and keeping track of innocence help shift the landscape for future games. Each of the 16 witches can also unlock a secondary spell that becomes available halfway through their life tracker. That's right. At the end, witches die. And those deaths shift coven power, affecting every subsequent game.
Just, I want to apologize. This video, this game, it's all my fault.
So all three of these really nailed all ends of it, especially the compact size, making that bigger and more personalized and especially more just impactful. Everything was very impactful, which is key to Legacy for me. So without any further delay, I'll just make this nice and short and sweet. The winner is, I don't have the fake wallet that we used to have, Legacy Tales Barataria. It is a massive, massive undertaking in getting a big story with, you know, big choices and big results of those choices over a long term into a 18 card tiny little game. Congrats to Dustin and Milan for really taking the spirit of this challenge and going all the way with it and making a very big experience with Legacy Tales Barataria. So there we go. That's all three of them. This was a very interesting challenge and very different than all the rest for us. Very difficult one to test in quarantine compared to other things, especially with the ongoing nature of all of it. But great job to everyone. Great job for nailing another very difficult challenge, one that you wouldn't expect to be possible. So next up, we are doing the worker placement, and I'm going to figure out the best way to get that out to everybody, since our old video series just became problematic. But we're going to race to get those done as quickly as possible and get back to some sort of reasonable timeline here. So apologies once again, and thank you everybody, and congrats to the winner.